Welcome into Week 13 of ENDZONE playoff extravaganza. Our game of the week did not disappoint. One loss, Houston taking on the undefeated Itawamba Indians. Tupelo Golden Wave beat Madison Central really easily a few weeks ago. Could they do it again this time around in the playoffs? And the Starkville Yellow Jackets surging as a road playoff team at Clinton, looking to get revenge.
WCBI Sports ENDZONE Show with John Sokoloff, Cam Dyer, and Grace Ibarra is brought to you by OCH Orthopedic Center, Jax, Carl Hogan Toyota, Wade Incorporated, and Clark Beverage Group.
Welcome into Week 13 of ENDZONE. A ton of great playoff matchups with teams trying to punch their ticket to North Half Championship games. John Sokoloff and Cam Dyer hanging out with you here on a Friday evening. Cam, so many storylines. We had Starkville, who lost at Clinton, trying to get it done this time around. Tupelo, who has, let's just face it, killed almost everybody they've played, hosting Madison Central. So a great slate early and throughout the 30 minutes that we are with you. But we got to start with our game of the week, Itawamba and Houston. So many storylines in this ball game. You talked to the coaches this week. What was the biggest thing you were looking for heading into this one?
Yeah, both coaches really told me that they know this game's important. They know they're playing one of the other best teams in 4A, but they wanted to treat it like any other game, and that's what they were doing in their preparation. But they're two teams that know each other pretty well. Baylor Dampier coached at Itawamba before coming to Houston, and Houston was looking to make history, making it to the state semifinals for the first time ever. Itawamba's made it to the quarterfinals. A lot kind of fell in those. So we were really looking to see which team could stay hot. One loss between the two teams. I mean, they've both been incredible, and we were expecting a great game, and I mean, that's what we got.
Yeah, it certainly was. Let's get out to those highlights.
WCBI's High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you by Carl Hogan Toyota in Columbus.
Check out this 2023 green Toyota Tacoma. It was Grace's first time driving a truck, and she said it drives like a charm.
So you should take it home.
That's all that mattered. That color, too, though. Everyone saw her styling on the way up to Houston. I would say that she was peacocking in that. If she likes to peacock, maybe she should get herself one. You should get yourself one as well. Ty Davis finding Zion Ashby for Itawamba on the short pass. He does the rest. Grace clearly thought she was going to get run over. She did not. He's headed for the end zone. I don't think he would have cared if he ran her over or not. No, I'm sure he would have. 7-0.
It's a little scarier than the sidelines.
Indians. It has to be, yes. Itawamba, we've all been there if you shot a football game. Itawamba back on offense. Davis looking deep. Nice ball, nice catch, but it's Houston's E.J. Stovall on the reception. That pick ends up in a hill-topper safety, though. Indians now up 9-0, but Houston with the ball. Jamal Cooperwood up the middle, brought down just shy of the goal line.
He's calling for a review there. He said I was in.
Well, they couldn't review it unless they asked us.
That's right.
But it's okay because they scored a touchdown on the next play. 9-7 Itawamba. Second quarter, Davis looking long again. It's Ashby for touchdown number 2.
Can someone cover him?
I guess not. 16-7. The fireworks, though, they were rolling regardless, I guess. All right, 3 minutes to go in the half. Steele Brooks faking the handoff. Instead, finding E.J. Stovall running down that sideline for 6.
Again, right into your living room there.
Seriously.
Grace, right up and close and personal.
So now it's a 2-point ball game after this touchdown. Fourth quarter now, under 4 minutes to play. And a handoff to J.J. McCoy there would give the Toppers their first lead. They won it 26-22.
Man, a heck of a game and a heck of a team here. Tupelo hosting Madison Central, like we said. They won earlier in the year. First play from scrimmage, Quay Middlebrooks ripping off a run. One man to beat. Gets tripped up, can't quite do it, but that's a heck of a statement to start. All right, a little later, Jeremiah Harrell, 17-yard TD pass, finding a wide-open Elijah Green. PAT good, and just like that, they're up 7-0.
Those fans are rowdy.
Loving it. I mean, how can you not be rowdy after the season they've had? But Madison Central responding. Isaiah Spencer finds just enough space with a 5-yard rushing TD. PAT good, and just like that, it's all tied up at 7. We might have ourselves a game here. But a little later, Harrell again dropping back to pass, rolls out. That's a sick throw right there. 17-yard pass completed to Tyreek Darden for the TD. PAT good. And DeAndre pulling here with a nice little 8-yard run for Madison Central. It wouldn't matter. Tupelo wins 28-7.
Okay, how about Starkville and Clinton? Early on, Clinton getting a big-time sack again. The Arrows beat the Yellow Jackets by 7 earlier in the year. Now, coming up with a big-time pass deflection, Vishawn Malone, and then a third one.
You get a pass deflection. You get one. Drew
Yes.
gets one over there.
Yes, he sure does. So now, though, there wasn't one here.
Can't
Jalen
deflect the
York
ball.
from Trey Petty, the Mississippi State offeree. I guess, is offeree a word?
Now it is.
Okay, well, I know it's a word here. Interception by Eric Thomas, who takes it for the touchdown. After losing at Clinton earlier in the year, Starkville wins the one that matters, wins it 30-2. They will move on. So what does that mean? We get a Starkville-Tupelo rematch in the 6A ranks, the 6A North Half final game. A rematch from a little while ago where Tupelo had its toughest test against Starkville. They only won that game 24-17, but they won it because quarterback for the Yellow Jackets, Trey Petty, did not play in that ball game.
One of the factors. I mean, this is pretty interesting, though. Tupelo, who's been just running 6A the entire season, dominating defense, against a Starkville team that snuck into the playoffs with help from another team beating Oxford. So, I mean, we have two different paths to the playoffs, but it leads to this one game that's a chance at the 6A state championship. Couldn't write it up much better.
Yeah, and last time you had it in Starkville, this time it's at Tupelo, but Starkville has QB1, so a couple things balancing each other out. I cannot wait for that ball game next week. We'll have those full highlights for you, don't you worry. All right, coming up next year on ENDZONE, West Point looking to make it 10 wins in a row at home against Neshoba Central. And Louisville, Caledonia, a couple of area teams squaring off in 4A, and we'll get to more of those 3A ranks. Winona and Amory.
Welcome back to ENDZONE. We had a big one in 5A, West Point hosting Neshoba Central, and a rematch of last year's playoffs. Picking up in the second, still scoreless, a defensive struggle to Makai Gaddis. Gets the give, weaves his way through the West Point defenders, finds daylight, and he'll take it to the house to put the Rockets up 7-zip.
They showed they were not afraid of this big brand in West Point.
Looking like some trouble there. West Point trying to fight back. 3rd and 14, Quintarian Tillman Evans airs it out deep to Amari Cox to keep the chains moving. Just like that, Green Wave now in the red zone. No more for the run, but that pass was good. But let's go back to the bread and butter here.
Yeah,
Tillman Evans fakes out everyone with the bootleg, cruises in for the score, knotting everything up at 7. Cheerleaders loving it. West Point back on offense, but check this out. Let's play a game. Who has the ball? Because it's a scrum, and then number 6 right there, Bo Hawley, stripped it. He runs all the way the other way. Look at him go, directing some traffic, and he houses this one. Neshoba Central leads 14-7. But with under 2 minutes to go in the half, you got to respond, John. You got to. And Tillman Evans fakes the pitch and throws a rainbow to Jalen Cooper-Wood, but he's wide open. You couldn't make a better throw. That's a big-time answer, but the PAT was no good. So it was 14-13. Neshoba Central up at half. But, man, West Point ends up winning this one 34-33 in just exhilarating fashion. Let's see where that puts them.
Well, they were looking at a Vicksburg-Callaway result.
That's it. They were looking at that, and West Point moves on to play Vicksburg because they held Neshoba Central on a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. I mean, it gets tough, and that's the difference between going on to play in the state semifinals against Vicksburg and being at home next week.
So Neshoba Central scores 34-33, a minute 45 left. If you're the coach, I know hindsight's 20/20. Do you go for 2 there?
I think there's too much time. I understand you're on the road. You have 30-some points. So, I mean, the offense has obviously been rolling. But I think you've got to extend the game and trust the defense just a little bit, especially a West Point offense that is known for their run game. I know we were seeing lots of pass highlights, so that might have been in their brains too. But they're known for the run game, not being a quick-hitting offense. And, man, they end up losing 34-33. But this West Point team, they struggled maybe at the beginning of the season, but they're right
won
back.
10 in a row.
They're right back where everyone expects West Point to be, one game away from the state title.
Yeah, they've been there about 1,000,000 years in a row now as well. How about we go to 4A? Louisville and Caledonia. So early on, no score here. Caledonia with a big win last week, and blocking this punt, Owen Bird coming up with a huge block. Micah O'Daniel with the recovery deep in Louisville territory, trying to set the tone for this game. This crowd was impressive.
Some momentum swing right there.
Yeah, and Carson Gillette took advantage of every second of it. He punches this one in for the touchdown, 7-0 Donia in the first. The fireworks, there are fireworks everywhere. I don't know if that's a safety hazard or not, but we just won't question it because
it's not a fun hazard.
Like them.
It's fun.
Key Jackson on the QB keeper, he's fun.
That's right.
Getting in for 6, making it look easy and showing that Tyrone Shorter's crew would bounce back. And now Louisville's Key Jackson now saying, all right, you saw that I can run it, but how about this dime? A beauty to Jaden Triplett for a touchdown. 14-7 Power Cats, and Cam, they rolled all the way through. After that one, winning this one 35-14.
So Louisville, man, they've been one of the 4A powerhouses that we've been watching ever since they beat West Point. That's in the 5A state semifinals, week 1. And now they got a date with Houston, our game of the week. We were probably thinking collision course all season between undefeated Itawamba, undefeated Louisville. Houston had something to say about it, and man, they'll travel to Louisville with a state title berth on the line. That should be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, it should. I believe both these teams are undefeated in their district play.
I believe that's
this
right.
year. Yeah, Louisville's one loss coming to Starkville barely at the end of the game. Meanwhile, Houston lost to Amory, but it doesn't matter, man. The regular season record at this point, I thought it would have been Louisville at Itawamba as well, but that just shows Baylor Dampier proved everyone wrong. His team fought hard, and that will be one heck of a game. Next Friday night, we will definitely have those highlights.
Yeah, he'll be looking to prove him wrong again, the Dampier bros. We got another one here.
Yeah, this is Brooks Dampier hosting Winona, and now Jatarian Ware finding Isaiah Smith. That puts them right at the goal line.
Think he's excited?
Oh yeah, he was pumped. And I'm sure he was pumped when he saw this. Ware pitching it to Charleston French, a name that we've said quite a bit this year.
It's usually a little tougher for him. The defense at least makes an effort. That time he just walked in.
Probably one of his easier touchdowns of the year. This play I thought was going to be a defensive stop until Stephen Whaley told me to shut up and just took it all the way to the house to tie the game up at 7.
There's that degree of difficulty we're looking for, man. I mean, he just wasn't going to be denied.
No, and Winona showed up well. So then on the ensuing kickoff, Javian Jackson.
You got to recover it.
Yeah, Amory player touched the ball. He jumped on top of it. So now Chase Richardson looking for J.J. Burt, who we talked to over the summer, a good kid, scores a nice touchdown there. That makes it a 14-7 ball game. And now Cameron Robinson making the play on defense.
Looks like he was running the route for the receiver. I mean,
a little bit, but still one heck of a play over the shoulder. So Winona was up 14-7 at this point, but Amory stormed back to win it 34-20.
No quit in those Panthers.
No quit indeed. Okay, so coming up next, who's Amory going to play? The winner of Kossuth and Noxubee County. We'll have those highlights for you on End Zone. The Hamilton Lions playing Taylorsville, looking to stay undefeated this season. And let's go to West Alabama, Marion County at the Tornadoes of Pickens County. Those highlights and more coming up next. Welcome back to End Zone. Who's Amory going to play? The winner of this game, Noxubee County and Kossuth. Our photojournalist, Ronnie Smith, the Swiss Army knife as I call him, he got a shout out at the beginning of this game.
As he should. He deserves it.
He's the best. He's the Swiss Army knife. He does it all, baby. All right, Jalen King, 10-yard gain there. Martavius Wicks, he's been great all season. This huge burst up the middle.
By my count, more than 10.
Yeah, definitely so. 50-yard touchdown on the play. Noxubee County band, man, they're playing the hits. I think that's track number 4, their greatest hits.
I like that one, man. That's fun.
They're pumped, yes. All right, so now on defense, Noxubee County keeping that Kossuth quarterback really with nowhere to go. So now, Kamario Taylor looking for Jaquavius Clark. He's got him for a touchdown. And that was just an absolute dime. That was the Wicks one. Here's Clark. Got a little too ahead of myself because this was such a big play.
That was suspenseful, John. I kind of liked it. You were making us wait.
This was all Noxubee County. They win it 32-10.
That was worth it.
So now this is interesting. So Noxubee County moves on. Amory moves on. Both these teams played each other earlier in the year, but Noxubee County quarterback Kamario Taylor was out in that game. He'll be back. Big time rematch between these two teams. Two great coaches, as you said before, too. Teddy Young, very much so attention to detail. Brooks Dampier, when his game earlier in the year was moved to Thursday night, he went to go watch Noxubee County play West Point because that was their next opponent that was playing on Friday night. So he went to go scout them 4 weeks in advance, just a football guy.
Think that's going to help?
I think it will. All right, let's get to a few more scores here for you. Eupora beat Northside 58-18. Choctaw County, the Chargers and Caleb Cunningham, their season ended at the hands of Charleston 54-14. So that means we could have a team in 2A in Eupora. They'll be taking on Charleston. So if they win, they'll be going to Hattiesburg, and we'll get our coverage.
That was a bit of a standout win for Eupora, man.
Big time.
I mean, we were kind of expecting them to put up a fight and maybe win, but all year they've just been kind of blowing people out and
Ty Murphy
exceeding their expectations. Ty Murphy's been a big reason why, man.
And I bet you if they win that game, the whole town of Eupora might be in Hattiesburg.
And possibly also the surrounding area.
Maybe. That could be. I'm excited for it.
Will
Hope
Lance
they get
Pogue
the
be
job
there?
done. He might. His hometown and heritage, the season would have ended, before then, so he definitely could. All right, when we come back, we will have 1A and West Alabama highlights and updates for you. We'll take a look at the big picture as well.
Welcome back to End Zone 1A action. Undefeated Hamilton looking to, stay undefeated against Taylorsville. Early on for Taylorsville, though, Laza Beavers rolls to his left, throws, and hits Quatavius Blunt. He's picked off, actually, by Quatavius Blunt. That's a good play. He hit him, just he wasn't trying to.
The fighting flipper snappers,
Big
Jonathan
turnover
Flippo.
there. I know it. He loves them. Hamilton's turn now. Evan Pounders back to pass. Finds Ja'Cory Miller. Is he gone? No. A 63-yard pass for the first down, but that drive would stall out. Second quarter, still no score. Pounders throws to her right, and he's picked off by Damarian Booth, and he's taking it to the house. First points of the game are defensive points. 37 yards to the house, 2-point no good. Harders lead 6-0 on the ensuing kickoff. Do you remember Ja'Cory Miller?
I do. I saw him make a big play last week in the playoffs as well against Resurrection
We
Catholic.
saw him just a little bit earlier.
He sure did.
Kind of got tackled right at the end. It's not going to happen this time. He learned from his mistakes. I'm just going to outrun all you guys. A nice 63-yard touchdown to the house on the kick return. PAT good. Hamilton leads 7-6. All right, but Taylorsville back on offense. Down one off play action. Across the middle, he finds Rico Crosby, and he's gone. 45 yards to the house, 2-point good. Tartars up 14-7, and they end up winning it 40-20. Hamilton's undefeated run comes to an end.
Tough loss, but a great season for those Lions, especially when you saw how far they've come in such a short amount of time. Okay, Biggersville beat Simmons 36-22.
At least one Lion won.
That's right. Bay Springs ending the Panthers seasons of West Lowndes 42-0. So the 1A, couple of teams that are no longer aren't in our viewing area. It's not like they were at one point. Taylorsville and Bay Springs, those are both pretty far. They'll play in the north half. How about we go to West Alabama? Marion County, Pickens County. An early turnover by Marion County. DeMarcus Giles finding Xavion Hood. 49-yard score. The ref got in front, but it doesn't matter.
It was a
All
good
counts the
old-fashioned
same.
mossing. I saw it.
Yes. Heck of a grab. Could be a top play. Who knows?
Just might.
All right, now Giles back to pass again. This time he finds Zachary Boone all alone in the end zone to go up 14-0.
Looking pretty easy for the Tornadoes right about now.
It sure is. Pickens County driving again. Giles going to get picked off right here by Daylice. Floyd takes it all the way for the Red Raiders. Tornadoes up 14-7. They won big, 40-14. They're moving on in the playoffs to play.
Coosa Christian,
There
thank you
go.
for that
I know
drum
you
roll.
love
I
saying
appreciated
one.
that.
Okay, Piedmont beat Gordo. The Green Wave season ends 27-14. And Aliceville losing in heartbreaking fashion. Congrats to a great season by Grady Griffin and company. Pisgah winning it 26-22. We'll have our winners of the night when we come back. Okay, the team's still remaining. 1A, we have no more. Okay, Eupora and Charleston, 2A. Noxubee County, Amory in 3A. Louisville, Houston, 4A. West Point, Vicksburg, 5A. And 6A, Starkville, Tupelo. Cam, who's your team of the night?
I'm going West Point, man. I mean,
All
knocking
right.
off Neshoba Central in a tough one, that was a good win for them.
I'm going Houston, knocked off an undefeated Itawamba team. Big time wins for both these schools. Again, we got plenty of games for next week. But thanks so much for joining us here on End Zone, and we'll see you soon.
WCBI Sports Endzone Show with John Sokoloff, Cam Dyer, and Bryce Ibarra is brought to you by OCH Orthopedic Center, Jax, Carl Hogan Toyota, Wade Incorporated, and Clark Beverage Group.